episode 2, Coach's Corner, Concept Reece. We are back, people. How have you all been? And Coach, more importantly, how are you, my dog?
Hey, man, chilling, maintaining as usual. You already know how it is, man. You know how I do.
Oh man, I've missed it. I know you guys have missed it as well, man. We've been waiting to do an episode 2 for a minute. Life gets in the way, you know how it is. We're going to talk about this boxing. We're going to talk a little bit about eSports Boxing Club, the stuff going around Tyson Fury, the big fight that just happened between Lyndon Arthur and Anthony Yard. Where do we begin, bro?
Dude, I probably would say let's start, because it just happened. Let's start with Yard Arthur, right? We know that Arthur was like, I think people was rooting for, especially in the ESBC community, man, because he was in the game. Personally, I went for Yard. You know what I'm saying?
This guy's gloating right now because we spoke before the fight, and I've been an advocate. I made a video on it saying that I think Arthur's gonna do it again, second time. And this guy's gloating in my face hard right now because his face.
Look. What can I say, man? Eyes open. I got an eye for this type of thing.
He's the coach. He's the coach.
But no, man. What did you honestly think of Yard's performance in the second fight?
Ruthless. If I had to sum it up in one word, ruthless. This guy, you know what? He spoke in the post interview and he was saying that my head wasn't in the fight. He had a lot of problems going into last year, personal problems with C19 and all this other stuff. And I think that really did affect him going into that first fight. This fight, we saw Anthony Yard and what we have been building Anthony Yard up to be, this absolute beast, lions in the camp. Anthony Yard, and we got a lion in the camp. Lyndon Arthur looked like a scared guy in there. He looked like he wanted to go home, back to Manchester.
So I'll be real, dude. I ended up rewatching the first fight and scoring it, dude. I thought they did Yard wrong, especially the first three rounds, man. On my card, first 3 rounds went straight to Yard. I felt like Lyndon got by just off of his jab. Dude, like I said to you, man, I think he only landed 2 right hands, maybe the entire fight. So I didn't understand how Arthur came out with the W when the initial first score that was announced was 117-111 to Anthony Yard. That was huge to end up with 2 115-114s for Arthur. But to your point, man, about Arthur looking scared, I think what he had was a flashback of round 12 from their first fight.
Yeah.
Right? Because Yard came out. Dude, Yard came out hot, man. I'll say this, though. Do you think that Yard could have maintained that same presence for 12 rounds if he didn't get him out in the fourth?
You know what, right? It's funny you said that, because I was literally thinking about it during the fight, and I was watching it. I was like, man, I don't think he can keep this on. Like, it reminded me, and I was having flashbacks to it, of the Kovalev fight, where we had that round. Do you remember where he just went for Kovalev? You got Tunde in the corner going, lions in the camp. And I was thinking to myself, this guy's going for it. And then it didn't happen. And then the rest of the fight, a jab knocked him out. I thought that was going to happen against him and for him against Lyndon Arthur, but it just felt like Anthony Yard had a lot to get off his head, and he needed to use his fist to get it out of him. And I'm just looking forward to the future. Where do you see Anthony Yard going next? What's next for him?
He's got the winner, man, between Joe Smith Jr. and Callum Johnson, man. It's got to be what's next, man. And I think one of those he may end up running into a roadblock with, and I think the other one he may have a decent chance of winning. Joe Smith is a man. He's a workman, dude. That's just who he is. You know what I'm saying? Man was a construction worker before he actually turned to boxing. So
Literally works.
He hits hard. We saw him stun Dimitri Bivol in their fight a couple years ago. Dude, he's got those belts for a reason. We saw him knock Bernard Hopkins out of the ring and into a dark hole like he was Mario Brothers going down a drain pipe, dude. So it was like we listen, man, Joe Smith is gonna come to do work, and he's gonna make it hard, man, for anybody to get in there with him, yo. That's why I think he goes.
We spoke about this before obviously the podcast. Would you bypass that fight, or would you prefer the Joshua Buatsi fight?
Oh, dude, I'm like, because I want to see that.
I know you big for that.
I am, dude. I think they was, before he got derailed, by Kovalev. I think that's the direction that he was headed in. I think the big fight was him versus Buatsi. I think that's a dangerous fight to take, man. I think if the opportunity is there for you to snag a belt, you take that opportunity.
Oh, yeah.
I think you risk getting derailed by getting in the ring with somebody who is as sharp and punches as hard as Joshua Buatsi, man. I don't think that's a good step to take.
It's a tough fight, but it's the fight that I really want to see. Like,
so juicy.
I want to see
such a
this.
Juicy fight.
It's a big fight. I want to see this fight as much as I want to see Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford. It's huge, especially here in. Obviously, I know you're a big fan, a global fan of boxing, but here that's a big fight in the UK, and I'm desperate to see it. As much as, and actually, we should touch on this, and I'm throwing it in last minute. Amir Khan and Kell Brook.
Dude, I think that fight is past its time. It should have happened already. You know what I'm saying? And I think everybody can agree on that. I think it should have happened already. But for the UK, man, and I'm interested to see what you have to say about it, because I think the UK is still like salivating over that fight because everybody knew it. For y'all, man, it honestly feels like y'all's version of Manny and Floyd.
Yeah. And if we're being honest, and as a boxing fan, like you, global boxing fan, no matter where it is, this is the poster for what happens when you let something brew for too long. And this is what my big worry is when it comes to, for you guys in America, when it comes to Terence Crawford and Errol Spence. Because this is what I can actually see happening. Terence Crawford's the same age as Amir Khan, or a little bit older, I think. Might be the same age. It could come to that point between them two. But back to the fight, it's just 10 years too late. They did a gloves are off kind of interview face thing back in 2012. That's how long this thing's been brewing. And we haven't had it yet. Granted, I understand Amir Khan's mindset and where he was at. He went off to fight Terence Crawford, Canelo. He's a prize fighter. Like, whether he wins or loses, that's neither here nor there. He is a prize fighter, and he's gotten in there with some of the best. Kell Brook's career has been a little bit different. He had the eye injury to Errol Spence, the other eye injury to Triple G, and he's kind of been waiting for Amir Khan. He's never had the opportunities that Amir Khan had. So I understand where Amir Khan's come from, but that didn't help us as the British public because we never got the fight. But we have, but it's a little late in the game.
Yeah, I hear you. I think that Kell really wanted that fight. I think if either one of them really wanted their fight, it was Kell. I think there was always a lot on the line, man, especially when it comes to fighting your countrymen, man. Like there was a lot on the line in that fight. Oh, yeah. But speaking of that, of somebody wanting a fight, segue real quick. What do you think about your boy Dillian White, man? And him potentially getting in the ring? Because I told you, I know you feel about Dillian White, man. I told you I will start calling you Dillian Reece, dude. I know how you feel about him, man. What do you feel about him potentially getting in the ring with Tyson Fury after his injury?
But this bad boy, this bad boy right here, I can hear it clicking. I can feel me and Dillian White got connection, bro. When I was my elbow's clicking right now, bro. So I believe it. Anyway,
the injury.
That was an injury. That was no injury. You just said I ain't fighting you, Otto. I'm going in there with Tyson, and to be honest with you, don't really blame him. You know, I think it's a smart move. Like, he's been waiting, and he deserves this. He deserves this opportunity.
I agree,
bro. We was on a live stream. Let me just, because I still can't believe it. I still think about it every day. There was a guy that said on our live stream that was on that Dillian White was a journeyman.
Oh, I was in there. I was in the comment section for that one.
You was there, and I'm still shocked by that comment today. And I think it's risen to me, or it's made me believe that there's this love-hate relationship that a lot of the community have with Dillian White, where you either love him or you just think he's a journeyman, which I don't understand. I don't understand how a guy that's been holding the WBC mandatory shot for that long could be a journeyman.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, but remember, it's what stands out, right? What stands out? The knockout loss from AJ. What also stands out is the potential knockout of the year candidate from Povetkin. When he caught my man with that left uppercut.
That was a night. Yo, I was watching. I was jealous watching that fight because I thought I've never slept that good in my entire life. That looked like a nice sleep. That looked like a good sleep.
Dude, pillow under the head on the cool side.
5-star, 5-star. I was gonna go on TripAdvisor. I was gonna go, listen, the Matchroom ring is the best hotel in the country. That's where you need to be.
Dude, it was good, man, but I still think it's disrespectful to call that man a journeyman, yo. You can't, again, like you said, and to your point, you can't be that high in the rankings and be a journeyman. It's just outright disrespectful, man. But we see that from boxing fans all the time, you know what I mean?
We do. But I equally to that, I do find disrespect in seeing like Dillian White versus Jared Anderson. Like, that is not a match. Surely that's not where Jared Anderson's at yet.
Yet. That's the key word. Yet.
That's not where he's at yet.
I think Jared Anderson is one of the next big heavyweight stars. I think there's a lot of people that believe that. We know that we can all be guilty of talking up somebody too early. You know what I'm saying? But Tyson Fury did say it himself. Watch out for this kid, man. He's special talent. You know what I'm saying? He's extremely special talent.
Where would you go? You're Tyson Fury right now, coach. You're the coach, man. So where would you advise your fighter right now to go? Would you go Usyk or would you go Dillian White?
I'm taking Usyk because my time is short. I've been through 3 different fights. I've died one time in one of them with Deontay Wilder. Like, look, life is short, okay? I'm taking it with Usyk. I'm the bigger. I'm much taller. I've got much more range. I'm not going to let this guy come in here and do what he did to AJ to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm snagging all of them belts right along with this WBC and this lineal title that I got. And then I'm selling off into the sunset and I'm scattering every one of them belts across the ocean.
I heard Barbados is nice this time of year, man. I heard it's nice.
No, that's where I would go. I'm going straight to Usyk, man.
Exactly the same move. I truly, I'm slightly biased because I'm a big Dillian White fan, but I think that's a danger fight that you don't need to take.
I agree.
Try and get the Usyk fight done. You're the bigger guy. You should weigh all over this guy like you did to Deontay Wilder. Just cut the corner of the ring off and just make it difficult for him to move. I do believe if them two were to fight, I think Tyson Fury's got his number. I really believe that Tyson Fury would beat Alexander Usyk. And this is controversial, and I understand it's controversial, but if Anthony Joshua utilized the tools that he's got, his weight, his size, his strength, his power against Usyk, I think we would have seen a different outcome that night. I truly believe that.
I think it's possible. I do believe that Usyk is an exceptional talent, though, man. And I went on Twitter and I said it beforehand because I knew everybody was banking on just those things you said, man. That he's too big, he's too powerful, he's just, And the thing was that Usyk is in a league of his own, right?
Yeah.
You're never going to see what Usyk brings to the table from anybody but him.
No.
I knew that AJ was not going to be able to deal with the angles that the punches was going to be coming from because he had never seen them before. Nobody was ever going to put their hands together the way that Usyk does, man. It was just, he is just different. He is an enigma in the heavyweight division, man. He seems small, but he does everything so right.
I agree. But I've always had the mindset that Derek Chisora kind of gave the blueprint of what to do against Alexander Usyk. Just go in there with leather. There was times in that fight, for me anyway, where Chisora was winning it. He was winning rounds against Alexander Usyk because all he did was go, I'm the bigger guy. I'm going to cut the ring off against you. And my mind was thinking, and this is no disrespect to Derek Chisora, but if a better fighter came around like Anthony Joshua, he's going to have a hard time.
So I won't give you my opinion. I'll give you somebody else's. There was somebody who was sitting on the broadcast that night who shared the ring with Usyk and was knocked out by him before he moved up into heavyweight. All right. He said it himself. He said the reason that Derek Chisora and that fight went that way was because Usyk let it go that way. All right. Usyk wanted to feel the weight on him. He wanted to be able to deal with that situation because he knew who he was going up against next. And look, I'm all with Tony Bellew. I believe it. 100%. I believe Usyk let it happen, man. I think he wanted to feel that. And he let it happen. He chose the right guy to do it against, though, because we know Chisora brings war, man. Every single time he steps in there, too, he's relentless.
It's true. I'm looking forward to that Joseph Parker fight. But we do have a fight tonight, my friend, in the States. It's your boy, Devin Haney.
Oh, man. The dream. Devin, the dream. Dude, I think this is one of those situations with Shakur. It's like, and I said this on stream the other night. It's like Shakur versus Jamel Herring, right? During that one, we said, look, Shakur needs to have one of those Gaddy Ward type of performances. I think this is the same type of situation when it comes to Jojo Diaz. Like, Jojo has kind of like reinvented himself since losing his belt on the scales. Dude, when he beat Tevin Farmer, a lot of people didn't think he was going to do it. He goes in and then beats Javier Fortuna, who a lot of people thought was going to give Ryan Garcia hell. And now
his only defeat was that Gary Russell. Well, yeah, it was the Gary Russell Jr. fight, right?
Yeah, and now you got him going in up against Devin Haney, who I'm very high on, dude. I'm high on Devin Haney because he gets in there, he swims without getting wet. Outside of that one big punch that he took from Linares, he was pitching a shutout. And dude, he's spectacular, dude. He's got everything you want, maybe except the punching power, man. But with that being said, we know Jojo comes straightforward. He's gonna make a fight out of it. Who do you think wins? I'm going Haney, without a doubt. I'm going Haney.
He's a spectacular fighter, man. You guys are looking to have him. Like, genuinely, he's exciting. And I think in that low weight division, you are now building the bridge of what US fighting is about. It might not be in the heavyweight division for you guys. You've still got a few years to go for that. But in that lower weight division, I think that's where you guys are shining. It's exciting. Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez. Like, these are big fights, man. And people want to see these now. So I'm going for Devin Haney as well. I just like what I see of him. I just think he's slick. I think he's skillful. He looks A-class. Do you know what I mean? Just like little things that he does with his footwork and his hand movement. I rate him really highly. And I think out of the bunch, I'll see after this fight, and I'll probably talk a little bit more on another podcast that we do, which we promise we will be back for. But I think that he's the best of the bunch out of the crop. I think he's the best one.
So I know, man, Fanatico would definitely disagree with you.
I know he would.
And I will also. I honestly think Shakur has all the talent in the world, man. I think he, for sure, is the best out of the bunch. I think he has the formula for the most longevity.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But with that being said, man, and segueing again, as we talk about longevity and retirement, we have an individual who was just recently retired in Manny Pacquiao. All right. Now, Manny was kind of teasing us a little bit on Twitter. He went on there a couple days ago and he's like, look, on December 4th, 2:00, y'all come tune in. And then he's got like, the little controller icon on there. So immediately I'm thinking, yo, whoa. Are we getting Manny and ESBC, dog? Like, is that was, you know what I'm saying?
Manny, what are you doing, bro? You don't know what we are holding on, bro.
Don't toy around with this community, man. You know what I'm saying? We on edge, dog. Come to find out, he hit us all wrong, right? Straight left hook. And he started his own eSports organization, okay? It looks as though he's only signed players from the Philippines. But what do you think, man? Does that mean anything in the realm of eSports Boxing Club that Manny has started his own eSports organization?
Good question, man. I missed that tweet completely, by the way. So kudos to finding that and bringing it up to the podcast. I'll be honest. I feel like we are hoping and praying for something that might not be there a little bit. That's where I feel like we're at with that. I think we're trying to put a connection together. We're hoping for a connection. Like, we are Colombo right now. We are dead Colombo. We're trying to piece eSports and eSports boxing club, and it's like trying to put a triangle piece in a circle piece, and it just ain't quite fitting right. That's where I see it. What about you?
I mean, maybe, but listen, man, I'm gonna grasp at as many straws as I can until until I get something definitive. Look, man, everybody know on my Twitter. What's the saying? Yo, we keep hope alive around here. You understand what I'm saying? We keep hope alive, dog.
You're missing a few words off that eSports. What about the boxing and the club at the end of it, Manny?
Hey, look, maybe coming soon, man. But we need Manny, man. Like, how important is Manny Pacquiao to ESBC, yo? How important is his addition to the game?
Man, he's just a legend, isn't he? Like, he's a real legend. He's the guy that I think he bridges a lot of gaps. I think he's that one fighter, and there's not many fighters that can do this. That are your dad likes him, your granddad likes him, I like him. Like, different generations like Manny Pacquiao, because he's been going for that long. Like, you can hear about fighters from, you know, your Muhammad Ali's, your Joe Frazier's, and your granddad can tell you stories about these, but you never lived it. You never lived that. But you lived Manny Pacquiao, and he's just a 1 in a million. But my question to you is, Manny or Floyd?
Both.
No, we're not doing this. We're not doing this, coach.
You
Manny
can't, dude. You
Floyd,
can't.
bro.
You can't do one or the other, man. Like, if you get Manny, you gotta get Floyd. If you get Floyd, yo, you gotta get Manny. But if I have to choose, my heart's with Floyd Mayweather, without a doubt. My heart's with Floyd. All right, because Floyd is that guy, man. Like, Floyd is still the biggest name in the sport, and he's not even active. You know what I'm saying? Like, Floyd attached to this sells millions. He sells millions, dude. I think Manny can have a similar impact, but Floyd is that guy. And if Floyd is in there, he's easily the most used fighter in the game. Right off the bat, as soon as the analytics drop, he's number one used fighter in the game.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with a lot of you said that. I think that personally, where I disagree a little bit is, I think Manny Pacquiao I think Floyd Mayweather has the edge over him when it comes to pull from the public. I just think that the way that Floyd markets himself into anything, he probably does a little bit of a better job than Manny Pacquiao, just because he's a bit of a showman. And he'll shout about something to the rooftop, make it sound like the best thing in the world. And if he does that to eSports Boxing Club, we're laughing. Economically, we're laughing. Audience, we're laughing. Everything. It's a good time.
Yeah, it's the biggest fish, man, of big fish. Like, he's at the precipice. I mean, they've already got Canelo, right? Canelo is clearly the face of the sport right now, technically, for anybody who's active. But even still, we know that the majority of the community, man, they're clamoring for Floyd Mayweather, yo. They want Floyd Mayweather in the game, and for good reason, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he got to get there. We got to find a way to get him there. Devs, get him there. Todd, get that man in this game, yo. Get him in the game, yo. Let's stop playing around. Let's go ahead and get him in the game.
We're praying right now. We're praying, but we're excited for both of them. Obviously, hopefully we can get both of them in the game. That's pretty exciting. But what's your take, carrying on with that eSports Boxing Club news? They've been hiring recently, quite a few jobs. What's your take on it?
I think it's good, but I can see where people can kind of spin the narrative a little bit, right? And I think it's good, though. I think it's good to look at it from both angles. Could hiring mean that the game is not as close to being done as we all thought? Are they looking for extra help to help bring this along a little bit quicker? Or are they just genuinely building a conglomerate versus just trying to get this game out and reaching for the low-hanging fruit? I think it's the latter, man. I really think that they are trying to build a real full-on competitive organization, man. I don't think their sights are just on ESBC. I think that's the project they have right now. And I think these people who come on, of course, are going to be working on this project. But I think ultimately what they want to do is build an organization that's competitive. They don't want to be an indie company. They want to be recognized as a AAA company who's making AAA products, who's going to be mentioned in the same conversations as EA, and when you're talking about Bethesda and all these other companies, man, that Steel City Interactive is right there. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think these hires, I think they mean.
I'm with it. I'm completely agreeing to what you're saying. I think it's a good thing. I think they're hiring to improve. Like that's automatically what I thought when I saw it. I thought, well, they're trying to get the best of the best people involved so that they can be the best of the best. That's how it works. I mean, that's where my brain pieced it together. I never really saw the other side of, oh, if they're still hiring, then it's not ready. Well, if it's not ready, it's not ready. Like, we're trying to make the best boxing game ever, right? And if we have to hire more people to make that happen, then more people need to be hired to make that happen. Like, we've already seen that EA are now in talks for a new game, and we haven't spoke about that. Actually, we haven't spoke about that. EA are coming out with a new Fight Night game. Where's this come from?
Moneyball, dude. That's what it is. It's
Moneyball.
It's Moneyball. Right? And that's the thing. You know, I think because it's EA, I think we always immediately grab on to Fight Night. We actually don't even know if it's going to be called Fight Night. As far as we know, it literally could be called Moneyball Fighting. You know what I'm saying?
Punch out 10.
It could be another gambling game. You know what I'm saying? Like the Tyson game that duped everybody. But is it really worth mentioning that EA is getting back into the fighting business? I mean, technically, it's still a rumor. You know what I'm saying? None of that EA hasn't coming out on their own and said, we're back in the business of a boxing game. You know what I'm saying? Could it be an opportunity to say something to keep from getting gatekept by SCI? Potentially. You know what I'm saying? Potentially.
I've always said that EA coming out with a boxing game is a good thing. It really is a good thing, and I implore people to see it like that, because you don't want to be in a market on your own. Because if you're in the market on your own, then you're just gonna, you don't know what's good. You don't know what the other team are doing to work off that and say, okay, well, there's some elements that we can draw from that. EA are a very experienced company. They're gonna do some things better than what SCI can do. That's just the truth of it. Like, there's gonna be elements of what they can do, and they can draw from that. I've made comparisons in the past. FIFA has PES as their comparison. 2K right. has a comparison as well. Like, these things that going in together, you learn from one another. It's a good thing. Trust me on that one.
Yeah, I don't think EA is in the business of competing if they really don't have to. No. And we clearly have a full example of that when it came to the NFL. There was ESPN 2K5, and then there was Madden. Madden said, well, this game is doing awfully good to hit the shelves at $20, mind you, when it came out. ESPN 2K5 came out with a $20 price tag and outsold Madden that year. Now, what did EA do? He said, we'll just buy the rights to the NFL for the next 20 years, and good luck. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
You know,
that.
What did they do with UFC? They just re-upped on a contract. You know what I mean? Like, EA says, look, I'm the big man on canvas. I got all the money, I got all the pull. I'll find a way to get rid of you at a certain point. Do you think they're going to attempt to step on SCI like that if they do come back into the game?
Oh man, I don't. I think they're going to operate in a different world to what SCI are trying to do. I think they're the same genre but different games, if that makes any sense. So SCI out here trying to create real life, realistic gameplay, and I think EA are happy to do arcade gameplay.
No doubt.
Happy with that. It's what they do. Like, they don't just do it in FIFA. They do it in other genres and other sports that they work on as well. So I think they work in a different realm. The only time I feel like they might clash is when it comes to signing fighters, and I don't know what these contracts look like. So it's going to be really interesting to see if it's called Fight Night, another Fight Night comes out. How are you going to have two Canelos? But then again, you got two Cristiano Ronaldos. Maybe it's no big deal. Who knows?
You know, I've said contracting is probably the haziest part of everything that we know about SCI boxing games in period. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to ESBC, we have no idea what contracts look like, but we have an idea that having two of them is possible. You know, Jamel Herring he signed to ESBC, but he was also signed to Round for Round.
I didn't know that.
It's in both of them. He's in both. Matter of fact, in the interview with me and him, he said Round for Round called me first. They called me before SCI called me. He was signed to them, but then he said all of a sudden they quit talking to him. So, like, Round for Round, where are you? Where are you? All right, can you like, are you out there? Can you come back? You said Wicked Witch. What are you doing with Round for Round, man? Like, where are you?
Yeah, I don't know what happened to them, man. I don't know what happened to them. They shown us a little bit of something, and then it was like quiet. Like, I know they had Andy Ruiz signed up. I know they had Lucas Brown signed up, and that's a good point actually, because Lucas Brown was on Round for Round, and now he's also on eSports Boxing Club. I've got a true theory. Just back to that real quick. I really truly believe that this contract stuff might not be that big a deal. You know?
No, I don't. I
don't think it is.
I don't think they're locked up to just being stuck with ESBC. I don't really believe that's the case, man. I don't think, and again, we look at it as like a license, you know what I'm saying? Just you, period. I think what they have signed up for is just the ability to use their likeness in the game. Yeah. And that's it. And I think they could do the same thing with anybody else who comes along and offers them some money. You know what I'm saying? It would just be smart business as a boxer. Like, you're your own boss, basically. Why would I give my rights over to just one person when I can make money off of 2 or 3 of y'all? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it would only make the most sense.
It makes sense. Financially, it makes sense, and you are right. Going back to that, they're their own business. They're their own business, man. Like, we put so much emphasis on, are we gonna get these guys? Like, but I think we just solved the. I think we might have just Columbo'd this, bro.
Hey, look, it is, man. It would just be smart business, man. And I think it would be harder to sell these fighters and get this many fighters in the game that ESBC has if you were pitching sole licensing just to this game. You know what I'm saying? I think it'd be a hard sell, man. I really do.
No, I agree with you. But talking about fighters, just came to my head. If you had one fighter you could put in this game, just one more, and he launched tomorrow, who would it be?
Ooh, man, I would have to probably Floyd, but I would also think, dang, I can't do just one. That's tough.
Just one, just one and launch.
Probably Floyd. Man, will it be Floyd? Probably Floyd, or dang it, Floyd, Manny, or Errol Spence. Choose one of them.
Oh, that's a tough question, man. It's a tough one. I've gone for AJ. And the reason I've gone for AJ, I've gone for AJ. And the reason I've gone for AJ is because I feel like it kind of somewhat completes that heavyweight division. I'm talking about in the top kind of.
I think you're right.
Yeah. Wilders, Tyson Fury's in there, Usyk's in there, Anthony Joshua. Them four are always spoken about in the kind of same breath. And I think that would be it for me. I know there's Joseph Parker, Andy Ruiz, missing, but they're the four always spoken about, and I think that would, if it launched tomorrow with them four, I'd be satisfied. At the heavyweight level, I'd be satisfied. Yeah,
I can see that, man. You really kind of get your heavyweight trifecta if you get those three, which we already know, Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder. It does seem like the only piece that's missing really is AJ. So yeah, to your point, man. Yeah, I definitely I can see that 100%. I can see that.
Boy, man. I have missed this podcast with you, bro.
Dude, like, we just gotta get the timing figured out. That's it.
I know, man. I know, but I think we should wrap it up here, man. I mean, we've covered quite a lot of topics. We've covered pretty much everything we wanted to cover. You got any final words?
Last thing, and we know because it's been a big topic right now. What is your prediction on the release date? There's no way we can drop this and not talk about that. What's your prediction on the release date?
Damn, you're gonna hit me. You're gonna try to close off like that
on an exclamation point.
God damn, right? I'm gonna be quick with this one. I'm gonna give you late Q2. That's what I'm gonna give you. So I'm talking like June time, May, June time.
June? Okay. I'm going to give you on the
Same.
opposite end. All right.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say between March and May. I think between March and May is probably going to end up being our sweet spot. I'll go ahead and admit, I've been saying December. Okay? I've been saying December because Ryan Rose said December. Ty Grisham said December. All right?
Google saying December 31st.
We can't listen to Google.
Google saying December.
I've been pushing December, and I think that it would be great if we got it. I would love a demo. I would love early access. It's still advertised on the Steam page, and I think they still have an open door in order to drop it. But being that we're already in December, and like you said before, in one of your previous videos, Christmas is just the wrong day to drop it. It'd be the worst day to release this game. You know what I'm saying? Anywhere even close to Christmas really is kind of bad because everybody's going to be gone, the vacation, people spend time with family. And there just hasn't been big enough marketing push, I think, around the game to push it out during that time frame. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Believe it or not, there are still people out there who say, what? There's another boxing game that's coming out? So to your credit, I think that would be a bad time to do it. And I do believe that we are now going to see a slip into next year.
Yeah, I strong emphasis on that marketing stuff, man. I still think I still wish there's certain things that would do marketing wise. Like when we have two fighters that are in ESBC fighting, let's just get a poster out or some form of anything marketing wise to go. You're gonna see Caleb Plant and Canelo both in ESBC. Check these renders.
I'll ask the question. Do you think it's profitable enough to do that though? Is the time, the manpower, all of that, is it worth it? And I've been a huge advocate. You already know that, dude. Every big fight, I'm on it. Like, hey, can we get Canelo?
Yeah, true, yeah.
Can we get Canelo Plant? Can we get something? Can we get a round of Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury? But when you look at it from an economic standpoint, does it really pay off?
It depends. It depends on where they are development-wise. If the renders aren't ready for like Canelo and Caleb Plant, then no. I wouldn't get renders ready just for a bit of a marketing weekend. It's not worth it for that. But if the renders are ready, and you can put a quick poster together with just showing the side of both fighters' face, or even a little bit in the shadows, if it's not to a complete standard, I don't know. I think it might be worth it. I think it from a marketing perspective, from a drive, a promotion perspective, from us guys as content creators, talking about eSports Boxing Club, having something tangible in front of us, talking about it to our audiences, 100%. It creates that buzz and it raises awareness.
I think that's an interesting conversation to have, man, because I think as content creators, I think as fans, I think we do overlook whether things are actually economical in order to do so. I know we want what we want, man, and I'm guilty of it too.
It's true.
But I think we do have to look at it from a business standpoint and say, well, is it economical to do these things? So I'm interested to see, man, what the comment section is going to say about this particular comment. And I'll leave it with this. Lyndon Arthur just fought. He's in the game. His renders are done. Would it have been economical to put his face on something, anything, any type of poster by himself?
That's a question for you guys. You guys in the comments, let us know, because we'll be interested to find out. And actually, my question to you guys is, we're going to have episode 3 out soon. What do you guys want to see in episode 3? Let us know what you want me and the Coach's Corner to talk about, and subscribe to this guy. Amazing content creator. Love what he does. I don't know where you are, wherever you are, subscribe to him. Amazing content creator.
Hey, look, might end up with a special guest on episode 3, man. So look, y'all tune in for the next round. Coach, concept, coach, man, however you want to put it.
We out.